give you some feedback on your first draft of your guidelines. This looks good so far. You've understood the context and the ideas really well. First comment on your title. I think it would be better if you think of a more interesting, catchy title, because you want to attract people to read your article. So think about how your title could grab the attention of the TCKs, rather than giving them lots of information in the title. You don't need to write introduction at the start. You can just go straight into actual introduction. It could be a huge challenge for TCKs. The is what we call a definite article. It refers to something specific. So for example, if you're referring back to something you've already mentioned, or you're referring forward to something, or shared knowledge, here TCKs is a general noun. There are lots of TCKs. We don't need a the. The TCKs to start university in their passport country. The reason is that they might not speak the language. Even if they do, it still could, normally our modal verb would come first. It could still be hard for them to get used to the local culture. That's a really clear introduction. It might be better if you actually address the TCKs because you're writing to them. So you could say things like, it could be a huge challenge for you as a TCK to start university in your passport country. So use you and your to address them directly. That normally makes your writing more effective because it's a stronger form of communication. You don't need here to put in bullet point, although it would be good if you either had bullet points or dashes for each of your points, have a title at the top. So for example, your title here might be open-minded, and then start your description, one of the best ways, plural, because you're talking about more than one, and you're telling me which one is the best. To adapt faster, one of the best ways to adapt quickly, because you need an adverb here to describe adapt, is to be open-minded. Hanging out with the locals is a good way, but before that, I believe, here, it sounds a little bit funny to say I believe, because actually you're giving advice, so you can just say before that, you should keep your minds open. You should join more social clubs, plural, and interesting programs. Then your second point, you can start again by showing that it's a bullet point, and then you can put in directly, do not be shy. You don't need to tell me that this is your second point because you're listing your ideas. They must know, again, you're addressing them, so you must know that everyone is different. There is no need to be ashamed of not being local. Just express yourselves because you're addressing them. Generous. I think probably you mean to say just express yourselves as you are, perhaps, or just be yourself. Generous here sounds strange because we talk about a generous person who gives someone lots of money, but you wouldn't express yourselves generous. In that case, not just your schoolwork, again address them, but also your social lives, rather than intercourse, would be a more usual collocation there. Your social lives can be benefited, if you're going to use the passive, at the same time. When we have a passive form of be and a verb, it needs to end in ed. That's a good start. I think you need to have at least one more bullet point. Normally you'd have at least 3 bullet points. And then think about how you're going to conclude it, how you're going to round it off to make it clear. And then my other comment is with the address. You're writing to them, so use you and your. But that's a good first draft so far. Well done.